Prime Minister Modi has reached London. Remember, it's a 4-day, 2-nation visit, and it's a 2-day United Kingdom visit. Remember, the key focus at this given point of this visit would be the India-UK trade agreement, the FTA. The Prime Minister was welcomed, in fact, by the UK Foreign Minister, as can be seen in the visuals, the first visuals that have come in. And of course, the Indian diaspora has again come out to welcome the Prime Minister in London amid loud cheers and slogans, all for the Prime Minister. Modi to meet Prime Minister Keir Starmer and King Charles III as well in this very visit. It's a 2-day visit to the United Kingdom with quite a few bilateral focuses that have been highlighted. Trade agreement, the FTA, being key to the very visit and the timing of this very visit. It's a 2-day official visit from...
Just saying thank you. India is developing so fast, and whenever I go, like, everybody talks about India's development. So just want to say thank you.
ये हमारे शौर्य यहाँ आ रहे हैं भारत से, तो हम लोग सभी उत्साहित हैं उनका यहाँ स्वागत करने के लिए। बहुत बहुत स्वागत मोदी जी का।
बिल्कुल, भारत के शेर वो आ रहे हैं, उनका स्वागत करेंगे और उनके रहते हर भारतवासी सुरक्षित है ये, और वो सुरक्षित रहें इसकी कामना करेंगे।
It is just an invitation to Narendra Modi ji. Where the place I belong to is Lakshmarao Inamdar, which is his guru. That's what he has always said in few of his interviews, few of his speeches, and why I am going there to greet him today on this land.
Well, with that, Lavina Tandon joins me on the broadcast to, in fact, bring us more details from the ground there. Lavina, very good morning to you. I'm sure there's a lot of excitement in the United Kingdom about Prime Minister Modi's visit to the country. Briefly, just quickly take us through his agenda for the day as of now.
At the top of the agenda, we hear is, of course, signing of the free trade agreement, the negotiations for which have been going on for far too long. It is expected that the two commerce ministers will be signing on the dotted line. Something to be remembered, though, is that once the agreement is finally sealed and stamped and signed, it has to be passed by the two respective parliaments, that in Britain and that in India as well. Number two, quite important, are the bilateral talks between the two prime ministers, and these are going to take place in the first half of the day on the 24th of July. And the talks are going to be about very important issues from education to defense, cooperation in terrorism. But something that is interesting that we have been told is on the agenda and will be taken up by the Prime Minister of India, Prime Narendra Modi ji, is the issue of Khalistan and the unrest that it causes not only in India but also mainly in United Kingdom as well. Then is the issue of extradition of Vijay, Mallya and Nirav Modi. Dalit Modi, of course, there has not been any extradition proceedings against him, but we have been told that that issue might be raised as well, but that of Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi will be raised as well as a part of the agenda. Going forward now, this is the 4th visit of the Prime Minister here in the UK. It is quite important, especially significant going forward now that the FTA is going to be signed. So it is strengthening of this partnership that will be the focus.
Right, Lavina. So when we speak of the free trade agreement, how will it be impacting both the nations? Let's take a closer look at that. Will it significantly be reduced? The reduced tariffs deal boost commerce and investment relations between the two countries, especially at a time when India, as we know, is already scrambling to reach a trade consensus with the United States.
The FTA is expected to be beneficial for both the countries, Britain as well as India. If India comes with the benefit of being a huge market, Britain comes with the benefit of being a high value market for India. Now it is expected that this deal could boost the GDP or will be economic injection for Britain to the tune of £4.8 billion, It is expected that the trade between the two countries could go up to or double by 120 billion by 2030, 2035. So it is quite huge indeed. Now, talking about the image of global Britain, this plays quite well into that image, though they have had deals with Australia and New Zealand, but none present such a huge market for their goods. And the goods that will stand to be benefiting from this, especially the Scotch whisky, much in demand in India, and cars. And these are the two, apart from many others, of course, but these two stand to benefit. It is expected that the 150% duty on Scotch will fall down to 75% immediately, and over a period of time to 40%. So many such details would of course show up, but this is a high performer, and this Scotch whisky played a big, the entire union and the group played a huge role in the negotiation process. For India, of course, the textile, the food, all of these markets, electric cars, education, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, this is where it stands to benefit. It is expected that the tariff is going to go down for India to UK in exports to the tune of 99%, while for Britain it is 90%. So the fine details will come through once it's signed off, but of course both the countries are expected to benefit. There are some worrisome points for the small and medium-sized businesses. Of course, many seem to benefit, but there are pockets, there are pockets of worries. But then one has to remember that for this deal to come into practice, it is still some time because it has to be ratified by the parliaments of both the countries.
Right, Lavina, thank you for bringing us all those details from UK at this given point. And with that, we're also being joined by Pranay Upadhyay, editor IT Global at this point on the broadcast. Pranay, very good morning to you. Let's also bring you into the conversation. We just got a brief of how things look like for the next 2 days, what all shall be touched upon, especially in the bilateral meet. But for India, if we speak, yes, while the FTA is definitely key focus, we're also looking at economic offenders who are still fugitives and are in the United Kingdom, their extradition, as well as Khalistani elements.
Good morning, Shreya. And you absolutely rightly pointed out that the entire gamut of bilateral relationship will be reviewed when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in United Kingdom. This is his 4th visit as Prime Minister of India, and he would be meeting on the British soil with his British counterpart, Khalistan. And he would be reviewing the entire spectrum of India-UK relationship, including the centerpiece remains the India-UK FTA. But as Lavina was pointing it out, that it brings a wider opportunity for Indian exporter. But also, let me point out that there are protection measures enshrined in this proposed FTA, which is to be signed today between the Commerce Minister of both the countries, especially for the sensitive sectors of India. Take the example of India's farming sector, agriculture sector. There are concerns regarding India's dairy product, apples, oats, edible oils, and these are the sensitive areas in the sensitive sectors for the Indian agrarian economy, and therefore this proposed FTA enshrines the protection measures for these things, because there will be no tariff concessions for the dairy products of India. That dairy is a sensitive matter, even during our negotiations with the United States for a bilateral trade agreement. Similarly, the edible oil sector is also a sensitive sector because we have our own sensitivities, and that's why the calibrated strategy was exercised during the negotiation. It was a long negotiation, which spanned out around 3 years between India and United Kingdom. So it was like tailor-made for the Indian requirements, and the Indian negotiators have managed to get some exclusions which are very sensitive, very important for the Indian agrarian sector, and also getting us some wider reach, wider market in the United Kingdom. This FTA, Shreya, is important because this is the first trade agreement being entered. UK is entering into with any big economy post Brexit, and for India's point of view,
Pranay, in fact,
yes.
as you speak of the FTA, I will just come back to you. Just stay with us. There is some information I want to just bring our viewers here in the middle.